What's up, guys? Thanks for joining me for another episode of Morning Motivation. And today's episode is about controlling your body will lead to controlling your mind. Now, what I mean by that is, I remember when I first started doing martial arts and I was going through the belts: white belt, orange belt, yellow belt, purple, green, blue. And I remember through that period of time, I thought that martial arts was about beating up people. It was about kicking hard. It was about punching hard. It was about, jumping up, spinning in the air and doing a lot of really cool stuff and pretty much showing off. And that's what I thought it was about. And I remember when I was about a blue belt where I was sparring this really, really awesome black belt. And I was trying to prove something. I was trying to hit this guy really hard or punch him really hard. And he was just, dodging and ducking and moving. And finally, he jumped up in the air, spun around, and barely tapped the side of my head. And that shocked the living crap out of me, partly because I knew he could have taken my head off. But another part of that was just an awakening where it was not about trying to take the other person's head off. It was about control. And that's when I first started utilizing and implementing this concept. Just because you can hit hard doesn't mean it's right to. Just because you can kick hard, it doesn't mean it's right to. And it's fascinating because that philosophy has really permeated my life as a lawyer. For example, just because you have a right to do something doesn't mean it's the right thing to do. And that has also manifested itself in other ways. So because I like being physically active, and that's just something that I enjoy doing on a daily basis, and this concept of controlling my body in what it does, not only physically pushing myself, but looking at what I eat, for example, and knowing to not indulge in certain things that would be harmful to my body. Thoughts are kind of the same thing. You are not your thoughts. Sometimes people think just because they thought something that it's them. And I've slowly understood the idea that when a thought comes into your mind, be able and know that you can control that thought. You can put that thought in this area right here and say, let me assess it. Do I agree with that thought? Do I disagree with it? And if you can agree with it, if you do agree with it, you can take it, consume it, understand it, and potentially speak about it. But if you disagree with it, you can discard it. A lot of things are going to hit you based on your environment, based on the people that you're around. And just because you have a thought, it doesn't mean that that is you. And that has really helped in controlling my outbursts. Because people think that, hey, I'm just going to be real with you, and I'm just going to say something. And people attribute that to being real, i.e. being honest. But what I realize is you can be honest and not hurtful by way of controlling that thought, distancing yourself from that thought, reimagining it, and saying it in a way that is going to be helpful to people. So to get there, my journey of getting there was first understanding how to control my body. And I owe it to that black belt. It jumped up in the air, spun, and barely tapped me on the side of my head. And I realized that it's not about what you can do. It's about what you should do. There we go. So take that into consideration. Control your body and you will control your mind. As always, God bless and take care. The physical evidence does not lie. That's just one of many themes that we use in trial when we have particularly strong physical evidence.